guys, welcome to another episode of Wheels Boutique. I am your host, as always, David Nussbaum. And today, off to my left, we have a very, very cool Porsche 911. It is, of course, from the 992 generation, and it is a Targa 4 GTS to be exact. So for those that need a little bit more introduction into the Porsche 911 model range, the 4 means that this is all-wheel drive. The GTS is just the spec underneath the turbos, but it's still an absolute rocket. It is essentially the most expensive 911 that you can get with a manual gearbox, which this car has, and I'll get into in a little bit later. So this, of course, is the Targa form. I'll also get into the car a little bit later and show you guys how the canopy opens and the roof folds in. But before I get into all that, I want to show you guys the modifications that we have done to the car. So, of course, the very first thing you see are these gloss white wheels. They stand out a bunch. It is very ballsy. You have to be very brave to order a set of wheels in gloss white, which is exactly what this customer did. This isn't just any typical customer of ours. This car actually belongs to Fish Whip. So if you follow our Instagram account, you've more than likely seen Fish's Instagram account as well, and follow him also. So on Instagram, it's Fish Whips. We've done literally a couple hundred cars with him over the years. This is my latest favorite from that we've done for him, essentially. So the wheels, gloss white, Anarchy AN27s. So they look like a one-piece wheel, but they're actually a two-piece wheel. Right here, you're going to see a flange, and that flange is hiding the assembly bolts that hold the outer face of the wheel to the inner barrel of the wheel. Now, the reason that you would do this instead of just doing a one-piece version of the wheel is because when you talk about one-piece forgings, so the aluminum needed to make a one-piece wheel, there's oftentimes limitations on how wide you can go and the offset that you can do on it. But you don't have those same limitations on the two-piece because you have that inner barrel, that essentially the inner barrel, you can make it as wide or as thin as possible, and then you pair it with the appropriate outer face, and that means that we can do a 22 by 13 in the rear, just like this car has. So on the one-piece version, if we were to do this wheel in a one-piece, which would be called the AN17, then this would only be able to be done in a 22 by 12 and a half, because there's actually no aluminum forging in the world that can be done in 22 by 13 with a one-piece wheel. So Fish wanted a 22 by 13. That's why we went with the two-piece version, and the entire wheel in the gloss white. In the front, you have a 21 by 9.5, and again, 22 by 13 in the rear, 21 by 9.5 in the front. They're Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, which is arguably the best tire for daily use and spirited driving. Tire size is going to be a 255 with a 30 profile on that 21-inch wheel. And on the rear, you have a 335 wide with a 25 profile for the 22-inch wheel. So very sticky tires, very long shelf life. You can use them for tens of thousands of miles and not lose performance on the car. Another thing that we did to the car, obviously, that you can see is the suspension. So I can't even fit my finger in here anymore. I believe we did the H&R Sport Springs front and rear, so it lowers the car about roughly 1.5 inches and does not compromise the quality of the ride. I tell this a lot to a lot of my 992 customers. We're talking about suspension technology that Porsche has put so much money and research and development into, that even when you lower the car, you replace the springs with a lower travel suspension spring, it does not ruin the ride quality because the rest of the suspension components on this car are so advanced. So a very unique touch. That's very important to get the stance together when you pair the wheels with the suspension. Another thing that we did to the car is, from a visual aspect, I should say, is the TechArt body kit. You guys have seen our channel a couple times before where we do a full TechArt body kit. For this car, it is very minor details, but those minor details go an extremely long way. Marvin's in front of the car right now, so immediately you can see the front spoiler lip that has many different components to it, and you could paint it in a variety of different ways. This car is actually the gray black. I believe that this color was made famous on the 997 generation GT3 RSs that had the red script. If you want to Google search what that looks like, that color was a PTS option for this Targa. I think that Fish spent maybe $15,000 for the black gray on this car. It looks absolutely phenomenal. So we have that TechArt front spoiler, as I mentioned, but the real big showpiece of this is the TechArt carbon fiber hood. So you can actually paint over this carbon fiber, but why would you want to do that? Especially when the weave from the TechArt is so beautiful. On a car with maybe green or blue or a silver, this carbon fiber would stick out way more in terms of the tone. But it's actually almost identical to the gray black. And you can see that through the camera lens as Marvin gets a lot closer. The weave 2x2, absolutely fantastic look. It looks phenomenal. This is, I mean, I'm going to say this many times on the video. I'll probably say about the wheels, it's my favorite mod. I might say this about the hood, it's my favorite mod, but there's so many things that I absolutely adore about this 992 Targa. So the hood is actually not just for looks, it's also functional. So let me see if I could pop the hood right now, dig into my little pocket here. And I want to show you guys the underneath as well. So extremely, extremely lightweight. Underneath, you see, it looks like it wasn't gloss cleared. So you can see the matte version or how the carbon fiber comes with straight from the manufacturer from TechArt in Germany. But then you also have these little areas where the airflow goes through the front bumper opening. And then once this hood is closed, you'll see that it comes out from the hood and creates more downforce and aerodynamic stability over the car. Looking off at the helicopter off in the distance. Hopefully everybody's okay. That is not our helicopter for filming, but I digress. Another piece that we have, of course, in addition to the TechArt front spoiler lip and the TechArt carbon fiber hood, are the side skirts. So this car does not come with those little fins that you're seeing on this car. I love the fins. It's very reminiscent of the Porsche Sport Design package on the turbos, which is not an option for this car, at least not to my knowledge. So you have the side skirt piece that goes all the way from the front to the side, flicks up, and it's sandwiched between this piece and this piece, which is of course done in the body color. So it actually looks very OEM plus. It almost looks like it came from the factory with that piece. As we move our way to the back side, we have more TechArt pieces. First off, we have a little deck lid spoiler that's here. Of course, that comes from Germany, prepared for paint, and we painted it in the gray black. And then the rear diffuser that has these little fins, which also come from Germany, completely separate from the diffuser. So when the packaging comes, you have the diffuser, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual diffuser fins is what TechArt calls them. So you can do that in a variety of different colors. I've seen some of my customers where this little indentation in the fin can be also done in the same color as the body, but Fish wanted to keep this pretty clean. So again, you have the 911 Targa 4 GTS. And then while we're back here, I also noticed the Anrkywheels exhaust system. Now, Fish previously had the full Anrkywheels exhaust system, which were the link pipes and the muffler, which is valved in titanium. However, the link pipes are only offered by Acura in a 200 cell count. So it's a very, I wouldn't say very, but it's a restrictive catalytic converter that robs a lot of the sound from the flat 6. So what Fish did instead was we replaced the Anrkywheels cat pipes and then replaced them with the IPE high flow cats. It's a very unique combination and sound because when I was in the 4 to 5 grand range, the car sounded one way, but as I got closer to the rev line, that's almost what brought out the character of the Anrkywheels muffler system. So since it's titanium, it's extremely lightweight. So again, both form and function, just like the TechArt hood up in the front. Kind of taking a step back to look at everything else, we also did a DME Stage 2 tune. So this car is an absolute rocket. It will destroy any stock 992 Targa, 991 Targa of any generation, as long as those cars are not modified. So that pretty much sums it up for this car. I'll get into the interior so you guys can see the Bordeaux interior and also that manual gearbox. All right, so as you can see, the interior is just as gorgeous as the exterior. We have the 7-speed manual gearbox, which I absolutely love and adore. You've got the Bordeaux red all across the dashboard, on the steering wheel, on the seats. It looks like it has white stitching. It could be a little bit off-white, but it pairs together so nicely. You've got carbon fiber here on these little accent pieces for the steering wheel, right across the dashboard as well. Carpets are brand new. This car has 457 miles on it, so we don't waste any time modifying the cars. Neither does Fish. So this is an awesome, awesome car overall. Looks fantastic on the outside. Looks fantastic on the inside. Sounds great. Goes like hell. Manual gearbox. I mean, you have the creme de la creme here as far as I'm concerned. In addition to that, this is the Targa version, as I mentioned. So when the roof is on it like it is right now, it feels like a coupe. But once I start the car up and I open up the canopy, then we have that sunlight and it feels like a convertible. So without further ado, let me get into that action for you. So I hope you guys can hear me. I also hope that you enjoyed this video as much as I did. When I make these videos, I genuinely love the cars and the way that they came out. So I hope that goes through all my wording so you guys can enjoy it just as much as I do. So I hope you guys hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, leave some comments, let us know what you think about this. Make sure you follow us and Fish on Instagram as well, because we will be posting this car around the same time as the video. And you guys, all your support with liking us really goes a long way. So until the next time, enjoy, be safe. Ain't no way I was going through there. Too much risk, no reward.